Hello, this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your comments, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. And I want to thank you for your super thanks. Thank you so much for supporting this channel and just uplifting me and gifting me with your super thanks. I really appreciate it. I really do. And I forget about it because I don't like to emphasize that. I don't like to place emphasis on that because I don't want people to think that she's hustling for money, but I do appreciate you thinking enough of me to leave a super thanks. And I want to speak to the man who came into my comment section telling me that I don't have a right to speak on a black man speaking on another black man. I absolutely do, because many of us are tired of this degeneracy in the Black American community, the beating up on black women and black men. And the reason it has gone on for so long is because we haven't said anything about it. We need to say more about it. And I'm speaking about the Russell Wilson situation with his mama coming out and telling people to leave her son alone. Keep my son's name out your mouth, because after all, you're just a criminal out here trying to drag somebody back down to the crab barrel. And other people are making videos about that too, because there are many of us who are appalled by this behavior and about beating up on these young people who are living their lives and doing the best that they can, finding mates that they can get along with, and you sitting in the peanut gallery got a problem with it when you need to be focusing on your own damn life. That's what you need to be doing. And don't ever tell me what I can't speak on when I see degeneracy and hatred going on in the Black American community. I'm going to say something about it as often as I want to. And that is what we need to do more of as Black Americans, because we don't have a class system, so to speak. We don't like to separate from our family members who might be not as well off financially as we are. We want to be able to help and lift each other up. We don't want to separate and ignore each other, especially when we're suffering. But we pay a price for that. We pay a price for that because everybody thinks they have a right to take a shot at you, and they don't. And I'm glad that so many of us have spoken out about this Trayvon Boykin, this criminal around here trying to drag a decent black man down. And I will speak on it. Now today, somebody also left a comment talking about Tariq Nasheed, the FBA, and to a certain extent, ADOS people, talking about how we separate from black immigrants. Now, I know that how language is presented makes a difference. We have to delineate from the African diaspora for the purpose of reparations, because you don't get reparations just because you're black or because you came to the United States and somebody called you a nigger, or the police stopped you and thought you were a black American, or for whatever reason that you feel like you were discriminated against. Reparations is not about discrimination. Reparations is about repayment for a debt that was owed from the slavery days. And everybody else is coming over here getting money, resettlement fees, and money to start businesses, and they're getting food stamps, more food stamps than black Americans. They're getting free housing. And all we do is look back at our past and say, you have destroyed our communities even after we worked for 246 years. And then another 89 or 99 years of de facto slavery in Jim Crow, and haven't been paid a dime. And not only haven't been paid anything, when we pulled ourselves up by our bootstraps and built communities, you came and burned them up and shot them up and drowned them and ran them out. So we need to be compensated for that. And that's not about you coming from Africa or somewhere in the Caribbean and being called a nigger or not being able to get a cab or the police racially profiling you because they think you look like a Black American. That's not what reparations is for. So the delineation movement started with that. The delineation movement, as far as I know, started with Black Americans saying that we have to delineate because we're not asking for reparations for being Black. We're asking for reparations for jobs that were done and our ancestors weren't paid for it. So I don't know the whole story, so I'm just going to give my version of it. We started out with realizing that we had to delineate if we wanted to make the case for reparations. So it started out like that. You have to delineate. The ADOS group was formed and then FBA. So those are the two major groups now that are speaking about reparations. Now, some in the African diaspora are upset about the delineation. So then you have Tariq Nasheed, who is very active on social media, who has people calling in to his talk show or his podcast, and they're calling in saying offensive things to him. So in the spirit of Black men playing the dozen, and he calls it roasting, he roasts because they would really like to diminish our contributions to this country and trying to make it seem like we're all the same. We are not all the same. We are not all the same. A person who comes to the United States as an immigrant is not the same as a person whose family members have been in the United States since slavery. And so they call it an ethnogenesis, and that's what it is. A lot of the tribes that came to the United States from Africa, combined with the ones that say they were already here, created an ethnogenesis. Our family members went through the slavery system. And that was not an easy thing. And these African and some of these immigrants, and I say some because I don't know what all of them think, but they seem to think that the white men just built this country and we were just over here lollygagging, drinking tea and mint julep and eating tea cakes. We were working over here. We were doing all of the work. We were involved in every aspect of building this country. But they want to downplay this and call into his show and be disrespectful to him. Well, he's not one to take that. Now, I personally wouldn't have anybody calling into my show like that because I would probably be saying worse than what he's saying. He will allow them to call into his show, and it's good to know how these people are thinking. But they don't realize how insulting the things that they say and the fact that they don't learn American history and they don't know our role in American history and they want to diminish us and put themselves really above us if they could. Now, that's how I see it. So they call into Tariq Nasheed's show trying to tell him stuff, and then, he doubles down on them. So now they're upset because, they say he calls them tethers. Well, he does. And he describes a tether as somebody who comes here as an immigrant, benefits from the struggle of Black Americans, and then get in position of authority of some sort and tries to undermine Black Americans. And that is what he calls a tether. And when they call into his show trying to tell him what Black Americans are and are not, even trying to tell us who we are, he calls them tethers. We have had to pay a cost to be in this country. But they want to come in and say, well, we're all the same. And I was discriminated against when I came here, and so I should get reparations. Now, that's the base of it. Some of them are mad about that. Some of the African diaspora understand. Some do understand. But many do not. So, now what am I talking about? Someone directed me to Reverend Sharpton's National Action Network podcast. I guess that's what it is. And his daughter is actually doing it today because she says he's off doing a funeral in Chicago. And she has a call in, and somebody called in saying that they want to ban Tariq Nasheed from social media. So they are circulating a petition trying to get 100,000 signatures to get him banned from social media. Now, I listen to Tariq Nasheed from time to time. It's entertaining to me. It's entertaining to me because they'll call in to him and they'll say things that are derogatory about Black Americans, and then he'll hit them up with facts. And he has other people on there, and he has one guy, one of them on the show is named Kanye, and I think that's his name, not Kanye West. And there's another one several of them that really bring the facts, and they have the historical facts. But Tariq is the one that does the most of the roasting, and he calls them tethers. They've been calling Black Americans all kinds of racial slurs, Akata and Jareer and Abed. All of them got some kind of little trick name for us. But when you come up with one for them based on them coming over here trying to undermine Black Americans, now they want a petition up to ban him from social media. And someone asked me to speak on this. So I'm going to let you listen to the caller.
97. Let's go back to the phones and let's speak with Chef Kamar. Chef Kamar, listening to us from Chicago on WVON. You are keeping it real. Good afternoon.
Yeah, how you doing? It's Chief Kamara.
Chief Kamara. I'm sorry.
Right. Yeah, I'm old friends with your dad. I'm really proud of you. I know you're making your dad proud and your parents are proud.
Thank you.
I'm gonna ask the rest. Say let a co-host with you because you're doing such a good job.
Well, Lord,
I'd like to see more of you.
Thank you, brother.
Your dad and I spoke last week. I know he's been busy, but we're asking the community at large, the Christian community, Muslim community, take a stand on Tariq Nasheed. He's the leader of the FBA, and he has it's almost like a cult. Your dad and I were talking. He's saying really he's saying really horrible things about African and Caribbean people. I mean, things you couldn't even imagine Charlie Kirk would say, or the most racist the Ku Klux Klan people saying. And they encourage everybody to vote for Trump. He's anti-Democrat. He talks about the Congressional Black Caucus. He's come with a name for, African people and Caribbean people. And he's using the same propaganda that Nazis are using. The Nazis used during Nazi Germany. He's blaming all the problems in the world on African and Caribbean people. He said when crimes are committed, it's not black people in America, it's tethers, which means that's what he calls the, Caribbean and African people. So I got a petition out. I want everybody to help me with signing to say the same respect that Jewish people are being given, the same respect that the LGBT community is given, that African people should be given that same respect. And I'm from here as well, but I'm saying it hurts my heart because there never was a time that we as black people would attack our own people in the name of Trump and the Republican parties. I believe this is their contention. This is what they want to do. So I wanted to see if I can get everybody's support and sign the petition.
Okay.
And
give us some information where we can find it, if you can.
I would have our office text it so you can call our office at 708-631-4123. And that's 708-631-4123. And then you can go on the petition itself, and it's at change.org. And it's the ban Tariq Nasheed and FBA from social media. For social media for anti-Caribbean, anti-African and Caribbean hate speech. So we want to get 100,000 signatures and have him removed. You just can see what he's doing. It's horrific. So I hope people would call me up and support it again. So it's 708-631-4123. And your dad is supposed to be me. I'm in Chicago, so I might if I can figure out where I might go and go up and talk to him. Can I call the office and get the address where the service is going to be?
Yeah, I think the services are happening now or about to start. So yeah, you can call us and get that information. And certainly, I'm sure, he would love to see you. Thank you so much for exhaling with us. Thank you for your call.
Were you familiar with what was happening? Are you familiar with that group?
No, I'm not. But I am going to look into it. Like, you best to believe that.
Yeah. Yeah, he did Hidden Colors, and he's definitely very critical of your father. He's very, very, he talks about your father so disrespectfully.
Yeah, I've
And
heard like bits and pieces of it, but I try not to engage in, and people talking, that we got a lot of work to do, and so I probably have just tuned it
yeah,
out. So my apologies for that, but I will definitely look more into it.
yeah, get the
Um,
cousins, get your cousins, aunties, uncles, get them all to sign that petition for me, Queen.
I'll look
Yeah.
into it. Thank you,
All right,
brother.
thank. All right.
Have a good weekend.
So this is Reverend Sharpton's daughter, Dominique, and I think she handled it pretty well. I'm sure Reverend Sharpton gets criticism from a number of places, so she's probably used to it. But that's what they're trying to do, trying to get Tariq Nasheed banned from social media because he calls what Tariq Nasheed is doing hate speech. Well, I think that's open to interpretation. There's a lot of negative talk on social media. I mean, we can't stop it all. But at the end of the day, I do believe that it's more about the delineation. People don't like the idea that ADOS and FBA are saying that Black Americans have to delineate from the African diaspora for our own benefit. They delineate all the time. They when you talk about the Somali community in Minnesota, Black people are complaining about that they have whole housing sections that are just for them. It's just, a lot of it is open to interpretation, but the reality is, what do y'all think about this? Should Black Americans separate from the immigrants, or should we just all be one big flat black, and anything that we're entitled to, they're entitled to it too? Because my thing is not about calling people tethers or hating people, or now, I just got in trouble a few days ago for saying that I thought the Somalis were decent people. And I mean, it's not my fault they turned out to be who they are. I thought they were decent. But do you think that Black Americans should separate from the African diaspora, the immigrants who come here? Or should we just all go together and everybody's fair game and, you know, just be one big happy family? I just want to know what you think. Someone asked me to speak on this, and then I went and listened to the video, and I thought, oh my goodness, they're trying to shut Tariq Nasheed down. And I don't agree with everything he says. Let me go on record as saying that. I don't agree with everything anybody says. But I do believe that as Black Americans, we have to look out for our own interests. But what say you? Thank you for listening. Let me know what you think and have a great day.